Have you ever been caught off guard by the question, tell me about yourself at a job interview? If you have, this video is for you because I will give you the talking points to prepare and a clear structure that you can follow for your answer for this question so that you nail it and make a great first impression. Because typically this is the first question that the interviewer will ask you, and therefore this is the perfect moment to make your first impression, to make a positive first impression. You don't want to be blanking and scrambling for words or babbling or, rambling, all that stuff. You want to make sure that your answer is straight, concise, to the point, and delivers the information that you want to deliver. If we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Masha and I'm a career strategist helping you advocate for yourself and grow your career. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button not to miss out on all of the strategy content, career strategy content that I'm creating so that you can be strategic about your career growth. And if you like this video, give it a like because it really helps with the algorithm. And finally, if you have any comments, any questions, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to address them because my whole point of this whole thing is to add value to your life and help you with your career. So comments is where it's at. All right, so onto the tell me about yourself question and your response to it. The reason why a lot of interviewers ask that question is because they're trying to get context on who you are. They are probably coming from another meeting or, their day is just as filled as yours is on a day-to-day basis and they are context switching. They want to understand your story, and this is the perfect moment to give them context, to give them your story. However, we don't want you to recite your whole resume to them. They have your resume in front of them. They've probably glanced at it, but not for long enough. This is your moment to summarize, to give them the highlights of what they should know about who you are right now and why you're a great candidate for this particular job or whatever interview you're doing. Why are you the best person for this interview right now? I'm about to get into the meat of this video, the things that you should prepare in the structure. However, make sure you stay around until the end of the video because I will give you an example of a response that you could give to this question. Every time you have an interview, whether it's a job interview or let's say a podcast interview, etc., you got to be prepared for this question. You got to prepare yourself that the interviewer might ask you this question. And step number one in that preparation is identifying your goal for your response. What are you trying to communicate? Most of the times, you will be trying to communicate your skills, your experience, your knowledge, your background, essentially the value that you would be bringing to the company. And also you want to communicate the passion, the interest that is driving you, because a lot of the times recruiters or whoever want to see passion. Passion speaks louder than words. So that's what employers are looking for. So that's what you want to communicate in this answer. The second thing that I want you to be ready with is the understanding of who you're talking to in this interview. Is this person technical? Is this a business person? Is this a recruiter who might be removed from the role and not understand all the ins and outs? What language does this person speak? How can you communicate your experience so that they understand? Because your goal here is not to confuse them with all the technical jargon, but to communicate your value, right? So you have to understand who you're speaking to in order to choose the language that you're going to be using. Or vice versa, you want to make sure that you are addressing, if you are talking to a technical person who will be judging you on your technical skills, you want to adjust your language to be more technical, essentially. You want to understand who is your audience. And finally, the third thing that I want you to prepare before you start crafting your response using the structure that we're about to get into is what are the goals of the other person for this interview? What information are they looking for? Understanding this will help you position your responses and will help you highlight experiences that are super relevant to what they're trying to find out. So in my example, back in 2015, when I was interviewing for a role at Google, I knew that I was being assessed on 4 different things: general cognitive ability, role-related knowledge, leadership skills, and Googliness. I don't know if that's still the case, if they're still assessing you on those things or not, but that was the case for me in 2015, and their website clearly stated that. So I knew that that was the case. I was being assessed for them. In these interviews and I never knew what the interviewer is looking for in this particular interview. However, I knew which things I needed to demonstrate. So my responses were all crafted to demonstrate those skills through some of the experiences that I've had. I always tried to showcase all 4 of those things in my answers. So this is an example for you of what kind of information the interviewer might be looking for. What is their goal? What are they trying to find out? Once you have gathered all of the information and you know your answer to all of those 3 things that I want you to prepare, you are ready to craft your response. I would recommend using the following structure to make sure that your response encompasses all of the things that you want to communicate, which is what you do right now, your background, skills, and experiences, including some of the highlights, and finally, moving forward, why do you see yourself at this company, communicating your passion, etc. The structure is called present, past, and future, and you will find it online in a lot of different sources, but I want to make sure that you don't forget one very important thing, so I will change it to present, past, mission, future. So let's start with present. What do I mean by that? First of all, you want to introduce who you are right now in this given time, and this can mean a role that you're doing right now or a general statement. If you are trying to move roles or if you're trying to grow in a less conventional, ladder manner. So for example, if you want to move from, let's say, computer engineering into cybersecurity, you want to give a general statement that encompasses who you are. For example, technology professional. This statement will help you break out of the box that your job title might put you in case if you are trying to grow in a slightly different direction. I hope you see what I mean. If you have any questions on how you can call yourself, how you can create that general statement, let me know in the comments and we can brainstorm it together. This is the place where you can briefly talk about your current role scope and some of the accomplishments that you are having right now. Then we're moving on to your past. This is the perfect time to showcase your background and your story. For example, if you have changed careers, why did you change those careers? Why did you change your career path? What drove you into it and how did you transition? This is also the perfect time to highlight your relevant experience. And remember, we are thinking about who the audience is and what they want to hear. So we are highlighting only the relevant experiences, and if you have any numbers, any percentages that you can showcase in form of your achievements, do that. This would be the perfect spot. And these might serve as conversation starters. So be ready that the interviewer might want to go deeper into some of the achievements that you have mentioned. So be strategic about which ones you highlight. Again, we are not reciting your whole resume. The interviewer has your resume in front of you. We want to make sure that you're brief, that you are not telling them the story of your life. There's nothing, no personal, I live here, this is my hobbies, etc. In this case, we're just talking about your professional experience, professional development. Of course, if there's something about your personal story that was that breaking point, why you chose to change careers, talk about that, but very briefly and don't waffle, essentially. The next item on our structure is the mission. State the company's mission and why you are so in love with it. Why are you so driven and passionate by the mission of the company? A lot of companies want to make sure that they're hiring employees that are passionate, that are aligned in their mission. And this is your moment to showcase that not only do you know what the mission is, but that you are passionate, that there's a reason why you have reached out, why you have applied, why you're on this call. And finally, future. Talk about why this company is the great next step for you and how you can add value to this company, why you're a great fit to move this company forward, why you want to move together with this company. And this is a great place to end your introduction and just shut up and wait for the next question. Once you have thought through your response and all of those different 4 points, right? So present, past, mission, and future, you want to make sure that you practice it. You want to make sure that you are not forgetting anything and that you are saying it in a confident way. However, don't memorize it word for word because you want to avoid sounding robotic and pre-rehearsed. That comes off as unauthentic, and we don't want that for you. Now on to a potential example to show you how that structure works. So let's say that you are a data analyst who is a career changer. You have a background in something else, but now you're in the data space and you want to get into a fintech company. So your response might look something like this. I'm a data professional with a passion for telling stories with numbers. You've stated who you are. This is your present. Then on to the past. My background is in communications, but I quickly realized that my strengths and interests lay in the data science space. So I have taken a course on analytics and data visualization to get the skills needed. That allowed me to transition into the industry, and I have worked as a data analyst in a fast-growing startup for over 2 years now. I have now worked on countless data visualization projects and have been able to deliver insights that have optimized the company's production workflow, increasing efficiency by 23%. Now on to the mission part. I love your company's mission. Make sure that you are using the company name to make investing accessible to people with no bank accounts. Made up mission, made up company. There's a real need for this type of work in this world, and I would love to work together towards that goal. You're demonstrating your passion, you're demonstrating your interest, and that you're aligned on that mission. And finally, on to the future, which can go like this. I'd love to apply the skills and the experience that I have gained over the last few years, along with my drive to solving this issue, to add value to the company. Use the company name. And that's it. See how this structure has allowed you to highlight certain experiences, to tell your story in a concise way, and to position yourself as someone who is passionate and who's excited to be a team player and a problem solver. That's the goal for your answer for this question. Think this response through and prepare it. Practice it just like you practice all of your other interview responses, making sure that you know what you're saying, you're confident in the information that you're saying, but you're not, the words are not memorized. You're not sounding robotic or too pre-rehearsed. I hope this video was useful for you and that you nail all of those questions. Give this video a like if you've learned something new today, if this is something that you're going to be applying, because the more likes you give this video, the more you interact with my content, the more it gets spread around the internet, so it reaches more people, and also it supports me and my channel. So I would really appreciate that like and that comment. If you have any thoughts about this format, if you have any thoughts about the structure that we talked about today, or if you have any questions about the topic that we have discussed, or any other interview questions that you'd like me to create videos for, because I'm all ears. I would love to create content that solves your problems. So give me your problems so that I can solve them. And of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, because more goodness is coming your way. We can also be friends on other social media. You can find me as Stereotype Breakers. Have a wonderful time today you're currently experiencing. Bye.